Good morning guys, happy Monday. Thanks for coming back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a shorter one. I'm actually going to start a series that it's not going to be on very often, but it's going to be my Bookish Shenanigans series. And basically it's going to be about what I've just finished reading and what I'm currently reading, and then what's on my TBR shelf, so to be read shelf. Because as an author, of course, I love to read. Unfortunately, I don't get as much time to read as I would like, but I'm sure you guys all know what that's like. I did make a goal. Yes, I am talking about goals again. I am such a dork. So I did make a goal this year to read a certain number of books in the genre that I'm writing my book in, which is young adult fantasy. And so I am on track to reach that goal, and I just finished the next book on my list. To reach that goal, I do have to read this next book by the end of December, so we're gonna see if I'm gonna do that. Okay, so I am so excited to talk about this series. I'm on the third book of the trilogy, The Young Elites by Marie Lu. Now, I don't know if you guys have seen this book yet, but this is the first book in the series. So I'm not going to actually talk about that one in depth, but if you're curious, I'll read you the back of the Young Elites book because that gives you an overarching idea of what the trilogy is about. A decade ago, a deadly blood fever swept through the nation. Most of the infected perished, but some survivors were left with strange markings, rumored to signify powerful gifts for those who possess them. And though their identities remain secret, this group of survivors has come to be called the Young Elites. The Inquisition Axis seeks to destroy them. The Dagger Society aims to find them before the Inquisition Axis. And Adelina just wants to be left alone. But two truths will soon surface. Adelina's powers are far from ordinary, and she is not to be crossed. She's pretty badass, I'm just gonna say it. It's weird because it kind of reminds me of an X-Men story, which I have a certain person in my life who will be very mad at me for calling it an X-Men story, but sorry. I think it's interesting when you have different people in a book who have different types of powers, but there's not somebody who has all the powers, you know? If somebody seems too powerful, then you kind of sit there and go, okay, why aren't they just taking over the world or killing everybody or whatever it is that they're trying to do? And so at least, even though they have powers that the average person in real life wouldn't have, they still can't just overpower everyone. So it gives it more depth and dynamic. So I just finished the second book, which is The Rose Society. Now, the main character, Adelina, she's really interesting. And I was reading something that the author, Marie Lu, wrote. She wrote in the, I think it's the afterword, that this is one of the toughest books that she's ever had to write, because Adelina goes down a really dark path. She's kind of an anti-hero, right? She makes decisions that you don't usually root for. You don't root for the hero to hurt people. You don't root for the hero to get revenge. But you find yourself rooting for this character because she is evolving and growing, and she's going through things that you never know what you would do if you were stuck in that situation. As an author looking at it, I can see how hard it would be, because you get into like a really dark headspace to be able to write that. And you have to portray that, but also still make her somebody that you can root for. And that's a tricky place to be. That's a hard balance to find. So I really recommend this series, guys. It takes place in a setting that's similar to Venice during the Renaissance time. So all of the buildings are ornate. They have, you know, canals that run through the city, and the costuming is very elaborate, and it's just really, really interesting. So the next book in the series is The Midnight Star, and and this is the one I've started. This is the last book in the trilogy, and I'm really excited to find out what's going to happen. She got to such a dark place in the middle book that you kind of wonder, is she just going to crash and burn, or is she going to be redeemed? Are we going to finally see her reach back for her humanity and get back to what's good and kind in this world and everything? What I'm going to read next is a book by Kristen Martin. Now, she is one of the YouTubers that I talked about in my intro video. She writes, she does YouTube videos for people about writing and about publishing and all the different aspects of trying to self-publish. So I'm very inspired by her. So this is her 4th book. Her first 3 books were the Alpha Drive trilogy, and that was a sci-fi trilogy. And now this one is a dark fantasy series, and she says that she's going to write 7 books total. And the first one is called Shadow Crown. And I'm really excited to get into this one. This is about an association of assassins. I think that she has grown immensely as a writer, and she is saying that she's finally found her voice, and I can understand how that feels, because I don't feel like I've written enough to truly say I found my voice, and so I look forward to that day myself. Once again, I hope you guys are enjoying the content. I do post videos every Monday, so come check them out. If you subscribe to my YouTube channel and like my videos, it helps me out, so that's always great. A couple of announcements. Coming soon, I am going to be sending out the call for beta readers, so keep an eye out for that both on my YouTube channel and on social media, because I'll be announcing that. I am still going to hold a giveaway for 5 $20 Amazon gift cards for the first 50 subscribers of my newsletter. So hurry and get in and subscribe to my newsletter before all the spaces are taken. So I am curious what you guys are reading. If you guys have any series that you love or are currently reading and can't get enough of, I'd love to hear about them in the comments. Also, I am reading things that are not young adult fantasy, obviously, but that's just what my genre is of the book that I'm writing, so I'm trying to get a lot of those books under my belt. I just finished also The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. That was intense and incredibly well written. I am very impressed with the style of writing that Margaret Atwood does, and I will be reading another of her books that my aunt just gave me recently, so I'm excited for that. I hope you guys have a wonderful week, and reach out to me if you guys have any questions or if you guys have any other content that you want to see on the video. Otherwise, I will talk to you later. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Oh my goodness. Really, Mowgli? This is Mowgli. He's my roommate's dog. Hi, buddy. Yes. Thank you. Yeah. Oh, look, you came to see me. Good girl. Good girl. Yeah. Oh, you're giving me puppy hugs? I love puppy hugs. Thank you. Really? You guys have to be right here? Really?